This morning, we set off to the city of Taormina. We were supposed to visit here on day one of our trip to Sicily, but due to the storm, we were unable to visit. It's good to see that 4 weeks later, the repairs have started to take shape. However, there are definitely parts and places that will take much longer to restore. We've just parked up, ready to visit Taormina. It's a long hike up. We've just been chatting with a Swiss couple in a van, and they said be ready for a test of your fitness. It's also about 17, 18 degrees. We'll catch you at the top. Where we parked is completely free. It's got about 4.7 stars on Park for Night, but we've put the cameras on and we've locked everything just to be extra secure. We made it to the top. We then stopped for a well-deserved coffee just outside the centre of the city. It's nearly lunchtime. Try and find somewhere to grab some food. So that was 2 pizzas, 2 drinks and 2 espressos for 37 euros. Pretty damn good, especially since we're in the centre of a city. Morning and lunch done. We're now heading the steep descent back to the van. Woo! It's pretty fresh, but we're snorkeling in February. I think it might be about to start raining, so we're going to head back to the van. The spot we're at you can stay at, and there's lots of reviews saying it's good. So if there's other vans staying, I think we'll stay there tonight, ready to hit the highway and get on the ferry tomorrow. We came across the remnants of a beach bar that had obviously suffered the wrath of Storm Harry. This would have been right at the front of the 60-foot waves, a stark reminder of the devastation caused just a month ago. So today we are heading to Messina to catch the ferry back to the mainland. We stayed in this spot last night. We didn't really have the greatest sleep. There were people coming and going all night and car engines running and music and things. But we knew that before we stayed. But it's nice and close to the city, close to the highway. So it was good for one night. And that view, can't beat that view. It's a 50-minute drive to the ferry, and I think we're going to try and get the 10 o'clock one, but if it's anything else like the rest of Italy, it's not going to be on time. It'll either be really early or really late, so we're just going to rock up, see which boat we get on. This next part of driving is when we came off the highway through Messina towards the ferry port. It should give you a good idea of just the day-to-day chaos we deal with driving on Sicily. We then dealt with this section of pretty bumpy road. And then turned in to the port. Since we had bought our tickets online for an open return, we could skip the queue at the ticket office and head straight to the boat. We've been in Italy for 2 months now, and we're starting to pick up the language.
Ok? Metti dove c'è la macchina qua? Ok, centrale.
Straight.
Straight.
Maybe there's still some work to be done. There's always chaos as you board the ferry, as 4 lanes become 2. And we made it to Italy 20 minutes later. The chaos begins again at the other side of the port as 4 lanes become 2 and 2 lanes become 1. We finally found some Diesel Plus, some premium diesel, so we filled up 25 litres of that, and we have pretty much no normal diesel in the tank, so we got a really strong mix. We've been looking for Diesel Plus for a while, since we had the problem with the engine, and we haven't been able to find any, and this is the first time we have. It cost €1.91 per litre, so it was quite painful watching it go up, but we've got just under half a tank of it now, so happy days. And since we cleaned out the injectors and had cleaned out the whole fuel system really, our miles per gallon has jumped right up. We were getting between 28 and 29. Now we're getting 30.7 and it's climbing. Now I don't know whether that's because we've been driving a bit slower with Gustav and Emmy in their big massive van, or whether it's we cleaned out the fuel system and now it's running a lot better. We don't know, there's too many variables, but better MPGs is always a good thing on a trip like this. made it back to the mainland and we're doing a food shop this week in Konad. We're gonna test to see how different the price is, but we're kind of fed up of Eurospin cheap basic stuff. We wanna try and mix it up this week, so we'll see what the price is compared to the cheapness of Eurospin and Lidl. So we're here in Diamante again. We stayed at this spot with Gustav and Emmy on the way down. It feels like a bit of a fever dream because we're back at the exact spot we were before we took the ferry to Sicily. So it almost feels as if none of it was real and we've just woken up here again. But today we're going to walk into town. It's about half an hour and we're going to try and pick up our window, which is at the post office apparently. It's just whether the post office is actually open, operating on Italian hours and any other things, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We're just getting up and ready, taking Oz for a walk, and then we'll hit the beach, walk into town. I think we'll get a coffee while we're in there as well and make a bit of a day out of it. Here we go, we're officially on our way to get our window. If this works, it's going to be absolutely unreal. I've got my passport, my driving license, loads of cash, and yeah, the anxiety is killing us. We just want to be there and have it, but surely nothing can go wrong. Surely. And it's a half an hour walk to the post office along the beach. It's a bit of a killer.
So we have been cornered in by some police tape. I think it's something to do with this kind of promenade structure being unstable, but there's no way around it really. Aiden's gone to see what he can do, get the window, and then meet me and the dog back on the beach.
Yep.
How much?
57 euros.
Ooh.
Well, this is our window, and hopefully it's the right size and it fits no drama. The problem is, it's huge. We didn't really realise how big the package was going to be. So now we've got to walk half an hour along the beach back to the van with this beast. And then when we get there, we'll check that it's the right size and then we'll fit it today. But yeah, the post office was really clean and nice. But the operation wise, it was quite Italian, it was quite chaotic, and when you don't speak any other language, it's all a bit intimidating. But we managed to get it, and now we've got a long walk back. We're about halfway there. Whose idea was it to walk and pick this up? So it's time to tackle our window. I've just started by taking off the wooden frame that was on there, but we're going to stop for some bread and hummus and a coffee because that's most definitely needed before we make a start. So that is the window fully fitted. We actually made it a lot harder for ourselves than we should have done. What we've ended up doing is just replacing the glass rather than the whole frame and the glass. The reason for that is it was going to be really hard to break the Sikaflex seal, and the new Sikaflex that we had turned out to be pretty rubbish. So rather than replacing the entire frame and the window, we just popped the window out and replaced just the glass or the plastic itself. Yeah, we're done. We've got a window. The next time you hear from us, we'll be on our way to Greece. See you there.